Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Today you're going to hear a lot of stuff, a lot of adjectives that we're going to describe about teamwork and effort and a plan and a fit and athletic and all that stuff. The first one that you're going to hear is, boy, how much we appreciate everybody's help. And I know we always say this every year, and I'm always worried that you're going to forget somebody and leave somebody out. Starting from admissions to helping us, to Becky and Courtney and her staff and her crew, the professors who took their time off on Saturdays to help us, a blink of an eye, they're there, and the way they just, the love they showed for the university. And that's one of the things that we kept hearing. Campus police would come out and speak to our recruits and their parents and talk to them and help us open buildings. The whole athletic department. Cecil, who would help us and show up on Saturdays. The whole athletic department, from JT to talking to the parents to everyone coming, associate ADs, compliance, academics. I can't say enough about everyone who helped and jumped in. Al and his crew would be here on Friday nights taking pictures, and the stuff that they put together with the marketing department, just really, really great effort. The staff that we had on the road to go recruiting and took off, I'm explaining a little bit about what they did, but just the teamwork. And the thing that we kept hearing from the parents when you would get them here is about, boy, this place is special. We always talk about that. The big theme was relationships, and the big theme was the people, okay, and how great the people were and how they made you feel. And we could say a lot of things, but we always talk about how you make people feel. And that's really, really a benefit to, truly with everybody around here. So we thank that. The whole year, you talk about getting back to recruiting. It was not back to normal. I know recruiting has taken a different spin. You build these relationships. It's starting earlier and earlier, freshman, sophomore, junior years. But for us, when you really can get out in the spring and you can have people come to your spring and then you can go watch them practice in the summer. Well, last spring at the time, we were actually playing the season when we were trying to do some recruiting and build these relationships. But we hit the road. We went to these summer camps, and then we started our season. We had the unofficial visits, and everyone came over. We did 2 visits in December where we brought in some guys early. We signed 3 in the early signing period, and we knew we had more committed, but to us that wasn't important. It was about getting the right ones. Those that held true to their word during that whole time, we appreciate you and thank you, and that means a lot, building that trust. So we're glad that you stuck with it. We just had 3 weekends that we went through, starting in January. We had 7 the first weekend that it opened back up. We had 12 the next with their parents, and then we had 14 the last weekend. And it was everybody trying the right fit to get the right people in here for this program. When you look at the class of what we did and you start breaking it down, and we were a little bit, it's the last minute, before we can announce these guys, we got to get them all signed in. Jamie Bustos did a great job of putting it together. When you look at the class, today we're going to announce 23 adding to the roster we have already. It's always try to find the need at certain positions, but it's also finding the best available. And that thing, it moves. That needle moves that we're in charge, and we're constantly going, hey, are we taking 4 offensive linemen? It might go to 3, take an extra wide receiver. It's looking at your position and how things are going. Offensively, we signed 8, and when you break that down, we have 2 offensive linemen, 1 quarterback, and 5 wide receivers. When you look at our class of what we got coming back tight end-wise and running back-wise, we just felt at this time we was going to go after any of those positions. When you look at defense of 14, and you know how we feel, how it starts up front. Defensive linemen, we had 6. We got 4 linebackers, and 4 DBs with counting corners and safeties and Nicholls. And then we also got 1 specialist in there. We signed a punter and added it to the class. So when we get started, I'm going to get right to the video, and then we'll ask some questions at the end if anybody has where we're going to go through. The guys did a great job of putting this together. It's always who do you put up first, right? Who do you want to see and how do you want to do it? And a big discussion, do you put, we go from tallest to shortest. We go from the fastest. Who weighs the most? Who had to drive the furthest? We did all that stuff. And actually, when it comes down to it, is when you can say that I don't care who we put up there because they're all colonels and they're all going to be great here, that's when you feel like you got the right people. So it doesn't matter the order and how we got them. It matters that we got the right ones. First up is Kyler Paul, wide receiver, right here in Patterson, Louisiana. Number 3, Kyler Paul. Punt returner, kick returner, speed, really special with the ball in his hands. We feel like with a lot of these receivers, and you'll hear me say, you go outside receivers, inside receivers, we feel like Kyler can do either or and go for us. Next up is Brandon Larry, a linebacker, West Point Junior College, East Mississippi. Brandon is already in school. He was an early signee. We feel like he's physical, can run, and can do a couple things for us. Could be an inside guy or a guy off on the edge. He's getting acclimated right now to school and on campus and here working out with us. It would be good to have him in the spring and to go with us in practice. Nick Williams, defensive lineman from U-High in Baton Rouge. Big plugger, physical. You need those inside guys, eat up space. Really going to come in and help us at that nose position. Could probably play a 3 tech for us. Be a good fit for us on that inside. Could run for a big guy. Demontrell Osby, call him Scrappy, goes by Scrappy from Ponchatoula High School. This guy can really fly. Again, another, I think, really good athlete with the ball in his hand, does a good job of going over the middle, really has some good speed, breakaway. Played for the state runner-up Ponchatoula. Kick returner, punt returner, really can do it all. Eli Enos, a safety from Ohatchee, Alabama. Really did everything for Ohatchee. Played quarterback, had the ball in his hand. Really fell in love with this kid. He's physical. He never came off the field. He went from defense. He would return the punt and go play quarterback and go play kick returner. He literally never came off the field. He's big. He's physical. Had a relationship with some coaches in Ohatchee, and he fell in love with this place when he came here. Alex Villavaso from Vanderbilt Catholic. You can say it. A legacy. Dad played here, coached here. Again, when you look at Alex, this is a guy who is just physical, technique-wise. Again, having a dad as a coach also all those years. Really good football player for us. Willie Butler Jr., defensive back, will play corner for us out of Mobile, Saraland High School. I think Willie's got some good feet, quickness, special with the ball in his hands. He played on both sides, didn't he, Tommy? Played running back. Here he is right here, running back. Traylon Whaley, big, tall, wide receiver from Livonia High School, basketball player. I tell you, we did a lot of recruiting and watched some guys play basketball. And you really get a good feel for them when you go watch those guys. How they compete. He's diving all over the floor. He's that big guy. And we think he's going to be a special outside receiver for us. Again, tremendous upside. Can go up and get it out of Livonia. Wow. Colin Dupree is a punter from Catholic in Baton Rouge. Was in this past weekend, does a good job. I don't know all of his stats, all of his punting stats. We know he got a tremendous leg. He's been to several of those kicking camps and academies across and always finished in the top 5. Just a tremendous leg, punting-wise. Again, a guy we needed. Does a little bit kicking off, but really got him for his punting ability. Elijah Winters, defensive back, Ponchatoula. Again, punt returner. They really had a special team in Ponchatoula. If you know some of the athletes that they had, and with him and Scrappy back there returning punts. He's a ball hawk in the secondary. He's a cornerback. There is the discussion about how many picks Coach Stokes he's had over his career. 30. 30, they say. He had 30. He started as a freshman at Ponchatoula. Lowell Narcisse, quarterback from St. James. Got some clips of him here, transferred from UTSA. No stranger to the people around here of Lowell. Big time player. We've been recruiting him for a long time. It's finally good to get him home. 6'5", big, tall, strong arm, ready to come home and play and give us a tremendous athletic ability back at quarterback. Lowell is here. He came in January. He's already in school working out. Ryan Bernard, offensive lineman from Lakeshore High School, played defensive line. We projected him at offensive line. You talk about a legacy. He's got an older brother that plays at UL. His younger brother plays for us here. Zach, he was our first commit. He was our first guy signing. He signed early. He's not here. He'll be here in the summer. Just a guy who loves to play ball and works. He'll be really, really physical for us. Jaquan Fank, defensive end from Pensacola. He's from Pine Forest High School. This guy just got better and better and better as the year went on. Very, very quick off the edge. Again, I hate to keep saying, but like the upside of this guy, you know, the things that he can grow into and become for us and rushing that quarterback, and y'all know how important that is. Josh Martin Jr., he's from Kenner, Louisiana, went to Bonneville High School. He's huge. Big, 6'5", can run. And really can get off the ball for a big guy. Ethan Lee, Edie White from Thibodaux, who's happened to be in the audience with us today. Really excited about Ethan. Can't say enough about his speed, how he runs, physical, athletic ability, and just being the quarterback of that defense. And watched him play this year, watched him in the state championship game against U-High. I got to figure out how many picks Ethan had in his career. Pretty good. Knows what to do after he puts the ball in his hand. But expecting Ethan to come in and help us out immediately. Nino LeMay, wide receiver, West Feliciana High School. I just got to say wow when you watch him. Again, another guy for his team, was special with the ball in his hand, can really, really fly, can really run. Can be back there returning kicks for you. Slot guy, can play outside. He definitely knows what to do after he catches the ball. Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown Jr. is from McGill-Tulin, right there in Mobile. Again, really excited about him. A guy that can really rush the passer. Great, great personality when you meet him. Just full of energy, full of life. And I said, hey, I could have put his nickname up there. I said, hey, what they call you? What you like to be called? A.B., Anthony Jr.? He said, they just call me Country, Coach. I said, there you go. They call me Country. Caden Jones, From St. Rose, goes to St. Charles Catholic, linebacker. Played for Wayne Stein. They won the state championship. And here's a guy who he did a little bit of everything for him, huh? Yeah. He would drop in coverage, he'd rush the passer, he'd spy the quarterback, he's physical. Really, really smart football player. When you get him on the board and just loves ball, again, you always want to find those guys that love ball, that just want to play. Rasheed Lovelace, another one from Pine Forest High School, a little different player. He's an inside player. Knows. He eats up space. He can get off the ball. You know, it's the same thing when you start recruiting and you know some guys and you start asking, and when they start telling you about guys on the other teams, and they said, hey, you got to see this nose guard over there. We played against him, couldn't block him, and then you go and you find out. Again, played for this. They were the state runner-ups. Here we go, Tank McMath, wide receiver, Edna Carr High School. I thought Tank was a really, I don't want to say a late bloomer, but really came on his senior year. They got a little talent at Edna Carr. Can really run. He's long. Connor Orgeron from John Curtis High School, linebacker. Connor holds the records for Al on the visit here. He took the most pictures. Probably in 1,000 range, I think he took. He didn't want to get off the camera. Connor can really run. He can do a couple things for us. He's physical. He's got an older brother, too, that plays at Tulane. So good guys in the family that can play. Samaj Scott, offensive lineman. He's from Convent, went to Letcher High School. Big, physical. He's athletic, and he can run. Braydon Johnson, linebacker from Ponchatoula High School, 6'1". Again, this guy is really pretty special. Was a running back for them. He's physical. They put him in and rushed the passer off the edge whenever they needed a sack, and I'm telling you, get it. Put him in the dome, needed a sack, get it. But they needed him on offense so much, so he really didn't play a lot of linebacker. But he is an old school, tough, physical, and I know y'all always want to say he just wants to play ball. But we always trying to find the next Chase 4K. You know, we're trying to find the next Dontrell Taylor, the next Sully Lesh, the next Dejon Dixon, okay? And that's what we set out to do. And that's some great comparison. We feel like we got some of those guys to do it. So we're really, really excited about it. Spring ball for us, a little bit closing up, begins on March the 12th, okay? And we're going to do something a little different this year. The spring game is going to be April the 7th. We talked to people around, and we're going to do a Thursday night game. We're going to do a Thursday night spring game instead of doing it on a Saturday morning. So hopefully get the students and get the crowds out and show you the next year's version of the team. Right now, our guys are in our off season. We got 90 guys that's working out, going through the conditioning program with Coach Frank. They getting after it pretty good. The coaches are ready to get back. We've been on the road. I was just telling some guys are ready to get back around our guys and be around them a little bit and making sure everything's going right. So, again, I thank everyone for coming. It's really important that you be here for us. And the only thing I got to say to all of our signees, welcome home. Thank you very much.